This man wasn't really a cat person when he heard crying coming from underneath a pallet in a construction zone. And things didn't exactly go according to plan after he checked to see what was making the noise. Rico had actually never had any pets before, but when he lifted the pallet to find the tiny kitten, he knew that he needed to make sure she was okay. He didn't see any mother cat around, but knowing that she might come back, he decided to leave her for a while and check on her later. When he came back later and she was still there all by herself, he decided he would take her home, and his plan was to make sure that she was healthy and then take her to a shelter so that she could find a home. He made her a home out of a cardboard box so that she could get some much needed rest, and he went out and bought supplies for her, fed her, and took her to the vet where they told him that she was healthy. But what Rico didn't expect through all of this is that he would absolutely fall in love with her and become a cat person in the process. After living with her for a while and, as he says, realizing that having a cat is like watching unlimited funny cat videos in your own home, he named her Ruby and he officially adopted her. Now, as a self-proclaimed cat dad, he posts updates about Ruby on a channel that he made specifically for her called Ruby from Cyprus. This pilot unexpectedly adopted a kitten in the middle of a flight while he was in the process of rescuing nearly 150 other animals. Southwest Airlines pilot Matthew Prebish says that he's always considered himself more of a dog person, but when he met this kitten, she just caught his heart. Teaming up with Greater Good Charities and Lucky Dog Animal Rescue, Captain Matt volunteered to help empty the shelters in areas affected by Hurricanes Helene and Milton by flying existing shelter residents to other rescues around the country, creating space at those affected shelters for all the newly displaced pets that were lost when the hurricanes hit. After landing in Milwaukee, weather delays gave Matt the time to mingle with his four-legged passengers, and that's when he spotted Avery pressed up against the side of her crate. She kept meowing at him as if she were trying to get his attention, and once he held her, he just knew that they were a match. Though he hadn't planned on adopting, Matt called his wife to discuss it. She immediately approved, saying that she kind of knew all along that he'd probably be coming home with a new family member. Avery has been settling into her new home perfectly, and the rest of the 95 cats and 52 dogs from the flight will soon be going to their forever homes too. This man claimed he wasn't a cat person when an abandoned cat kept hanging out around his new house. But pretty soon he named that cat Cinnabon, built him an insulated outdoor home, and spent an entire year trying to earn the furball's approval. When Lex bought his Michigan house in an area with a lot of stray and feral cats, he noticed that one in particular seemed to love hanging out around his backyard. The little guy looked hungry and he was more timid than any of the other cats that Lex had encountered. After keeping tabs on Cinnabon for a while, Lex decided to put out some cat food for him, but he still wasn't really trying to have a new pet, he just didn't want the animal to go hungry. And 10 months later, when winter came, he didn't want him to be cold either. So he went ahead and built Cinnabon his own insulated outdoor house, complete with a shingled roof. Within a day of putting the new house out, Cinnabon crawled inside and curled up for a cat nap. And as the weather continued to get colder, Lex decided he'd try to coax Cinnabon inside, strictly to keep him warm, of course. Eventually, Cinnabon took some treats from Lex's hand, and not long after that, he took his first steps inside Lex's house. This moment happened about a year after Lex first moved in and saw Cinnabon, and it was a huge step for the shy cat who used to run away if he even saw Lex through the window. Whether or not Lex fully wanted to admit it at this point, Cinnabon had completely won him over. It wasn't long before Lex changed all of his social media channel names to Lex and Cinnabon, and they're now two peas in a pod.